Good evening, everybody. How you guys doing? This is good old Reverend Ordo, and this is the Anonymous Republic Network on YouTube. Oh man, what a week! Now, just a couple of years ago, Afroman had his house broken into, and we're going back here. I'll call him here. Now, Afroman had his house broken into, and the sheriff, the sheriff deputies broke into his house. They said the reason that they heard that there was kidnapping and all this other shit. Now we all know that law enforcement will use an excuse like, "Oh, we had a confidential informant," and they'll use some shit like that, you know. And we all know Afroman from this song "Until He Got High," right? Now, um, the song is the song is very nostalgic on so many levels here, you know. And the song "Until I Got High," that was like a very nostalgic song. If you ever put on a burner disc and shit, you know, back in the 2000s, early to mid 2000s, where you could install a burner thing on the computer where you could download songs from CDs and shit. You know, choose a song you want to download and shit, and then burn it on a blank CD. You know, because back then you could do that because um, back then you could burn things onto a CD. It's kind of like a compact digital mixtape, you know, and people would download songs from the 90s, early 2000s, very nostalgic and shit. And here we're in 2026, 25, about 20 plus years later. Afroman's still in the business. I mean, the guy is still funny. You know, he's kind of like this generation's Sir Mix-a-Lot. Um, a guy who talks about eating some chick's pussy too while getting high, compared to Sir Mix-a-Lot talk about ass. You know, um, I've countered a few broads. You know, which like, dude, Sir Mix-a-Lot was right. Baby got back. You know that shit. You know, but Afro Man got sued because he used the footage from home surveillance, his home surve- his home system, right? The visual system, you know, the cameras, and use it as a video to create to raise money for his lawyer defense, you know. And the 7-8 what was it, 7-8 deputies or 7-8 officers sued him for $3.9 million because it violated their privacy. Okay, let me ask a question here. Okay, let me ask the real question. Okay, folks. If you're out at a gig, right? You're out at a show, you know, making a living, you know, and not knowing that law enforcement broken down your gate, bust on your door, and a fat cop walks in your kitchen, looks down, huh, pound cake. That walks off and says The reason we're in there because kidnapping happened. While you're at a show you're doing with Snoop Dogg and a couple other entertainers, they stole his $5,000 that he had in one of his suits, you know, and other things like they also shut down his computer system, his security system in his house. Okay, now the thing is, nobody's face was shown except from here up, from here down, from a fat cop saying, "Oh, okay, a pancake," you know. And they sued him for three. They tried to sue him for $3.9 million, but also suing him for proceeds for any show that he did. And I'm thinking, okay, well, doesn't an artist like a musician have a right to free speech, but also freedom of expression? Right? You could be a podcaster, right? You could be a podcaster. You could be a musician. You could be a writer. You could be, the expression, the freedom of expression, right? This is what law enforcement tried to sue Afroman for. It was funny. It was funny, you know. And he did a song called Lemon Pound Cake. And it was funny because a fat cop from here down, oh, look at pound cake. It was funny. Afroman is funny. He's a funny rapper. He's like the he, he's the rapper's equivalent of Weird Al Yankovic. Weird Al. And these officers or deputies try to sue him because they had their privacy violated. Nobody saw their face. Nobody saw their face, man. Right? And it's like it's entertainment. Right? It's entertainment. And not just that, they looked at his car collection. Thinking, look at this. Look, Afro Man won his case. He won. Okay. They tried to sue him for $3.9 million. Now they owe him half of that. Right? So you take what the okay, take what they tried to sue him for. Okay, $3.9 million. They'll be forced to pay him about a portion of that, about $2.2 million. Hey, you guys fucked up by suing me because here I'm out of town doing a show. But the thing is, the question was and is, where was the warrant? Okay, now cops can run this shit by saying, "Oh, we had a CI. Oh, we had a confident informant." Um, okay, you say you have a CI, but yet where is the warrant? Okay, where's the warrant? You guys broken down a guy's gate, then you blew the door off his hinges of his house. You went through his personal property. You stole money, pocket some of it for yourself, whatever, because that happens. There's video on YouTube where the guy had $1,000 in his pocket or a wallet, and about 500, 400, was it $400 or was it $300 were missing out of that $1,000, and it turns out a lieutenant pocketed $300. You know, but law enforcement is more cricketed than a used car salesman at a cheap golf weekend at a third-rate country club. Okay, very, very quickly. Law enforcement would think, well, I got a badge. This says I can do what I want. No, no, no. Your badge states that you work for this department. Here's your badge number and your fucking name. That's all it is. Okay. The badge you carry is the ego amplifier. Okay. Badges on law enforcement are nothing more than ego amplifiers. Okay. It amplifies the ego, the arrogance, the bullshit. Okay. Now, anybody who's ever been pulled over by law enforcement, right? Now, how they do it is they do it randomly. Okay, randomly. Don't care who it is. Okay, don't care who it is. You know, it don't care. It don't matter if you're following the rules of the road, following the speed limit, whatever we're doing. They're gonna pull you over for whatever, you know. And it could be a rookie who has no idea that he's a fucking idiot to a veteran who's done this for decades and never got caught, never had to face any, accountability. Now, the thing is, here's a guy, Afroman, funny dude, talented guy. If you remember the song "Until I Got High" back in the early to mid 2000s, I bet some of you had a computer back in that time where it had a software where you could install the CD, download songs you wanted to get to install on a list, and then turn around, put in a blank CD, right? A blank CD that you could play on your CD player or in your car. That's your personal playlist, right? That is your personal playlist back in the early to mid 2000s, okay, bar none. I remember, what was it? There's a website called Strangeland.com. Okay, Strangeland.com is no longer on the you um there's where you can play a song and look at songs you want to download, put in the list on the computer, then put in a blank CD which you can burn those songs on. Okay, what was it called at the time? Now, again, Strangeland.com is no longer relevant. It's been removed from because of the gore. Because of the gore. Even bestgore.com has been removed because of the gore, of the, I can't say. No, can't say. All I can say is both websites are no longer around because of certain legal liabilities. Okay, that's where I'm gonna go. Okay, so they try to sue Afroman for $3.9 million because allegedly his home security system cameras video their faces. Okay, now we all seen the footage. We all see everything. Nobody's face was seen, but a fat cop that came into the kitchen from here down. Oh, look at pancake, right? Oh, I love a pancake. And he did this song called Lemon Pound Cake. Okay. After seeing a fat cop come into the kitchen door, like, oh, what's this? Lemon pound cake. It was funny. It was fucking funny. Dude, look, we need to bring funny back, man. We need to bring that hilarity in music, I remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Coolio had a song called "Gangster Paradise." Remember the movie? It had Michelle Pfeiffer in the movie. Okay, now We're Al did a parody of with Amish Paradise, right? And there's a lyric that goes, "Don't be vain, don't be whiny, or I'll go medieval on your hiney." When that when that was put out, I about hit the floor laughing my ass off because that part was fucking funny, dude. I was pure eyes was like, look, but at least both sides came to a conclusion that, hey, look, no harm, no foul, but yet, I don't know. But the thing is, musicians, hip hop artists, rap, look, very, very talented people in that genre. Very talented people. Some are funny, some a little bit too serious, too serious. But if you had a little bit of humor to say hip hop or rap or it's like rock, whatever it is, kind of like a weird out thing. Look, sometimes artists kind of ad lib wanted to do like something humorous, something humorous. And because you got some that they're so fucking too serious and shit. Like I remember back in 1992, right? And there's a rock equivalent, a rock song video, and it was a clay made video, right? And it was called it had the three little pigs and the big bad wolf, right? Awesome video, right? And that was humor. That was funny. That was funny, man. And if y'all remember that song, "The Devil Went Down to Jamaica," right? It was a novelty song of the equivalent to "The Devil Went Down to Georgia," right? This was "The Devil Went Down to Jamaica," right? Funny song, man. Funny song, dude. And Marijuanaville, all right, Marijuanaville. That one was funny, dude. Marijuanaville, and there were pretty songs with humor, man. Like, dude, like Marijuanaville or "The Devil Went Down to Jamaica." Those songs were funny. These were pop songs with humor, man. Like, dude, until I got high, until I got high. These were songs very nostalgic because it was funny. But here's the thing though. 2022 was it 2022 time? Afroman was at a show. Um, I think it was like late 2022 is when that town's law enforcement broke into his house with no warrant. They just broke in his gate, his door, his house. They said the reason we went in there, CI said like there's kidnapping involved. This is where most of the time law enforcement really fucks up bad. They'll claim that we have a CI, confidential informant witness kind of thing. Okay, but I mean, where's the warrant, man? What, where's the warrant? I'm a big fan of Afroman. Very, very big fan. Also a big fan of Sir Mix-a-Lot. But sometimes law enforcement, when someone famous lives in their town, right, or whoever, they're going to find a way of saying, well, we didn't get in there because we believe that kidnapping involved or some kind of crimes happening right now. Okay, where's your warrant? We'll get one. We ain't coming in. Get a good warrant. Oh, we got a call. I said, call don't mean shit. Call don't mean shit. A call doesn't give a officer the look. If you have a cop at your door, right, or a cop who stopped you on the side of the road and said, "Well, we got a call." Just because you got a call don't mean that you're going to search my house or my car. You know what I'm saying? Cops are going to use, well, we got a call. Don't mean shit. You know, because just because okay, okay, listen, just because an officer got a call, right? Just because an officer got a call, don't mean that they get access to your home to search or to pull you out of your car to search your car because you never know that they might plant something just for whatever, you know. And I think here, let's see here. Okay, let's see here. But the thing is, it it shouldn't matter. I mean, you have to get a warrant, right? The Fourth Amendment protects us from unreasonable searches and seizures. Okay, but law enforcement law enforcement get around that by saying, "Oh, we we smell marijuana," or the docket. Look, 80% of the time, the dog does not fucking hit. Okay, it's all bullshit because they know that. Look, cops know this shit, man. Cops don't know this shit, right? And you got to think, okay, why say, well, like because they're cueing the dogs, right? They're cueing the dogs, man. Right? The sheriff department, the sheriff cut the feed in his house. Like thinking, okay, well, what kind of feed in that? Okay, they searched his closet, right? And in one of his jacket, they found $5,000. Okay, well, and it's $5,000. How come a grand is missing? Right? There's only what 4,000 some out of that $5,000. Like, really, dude? Shit, you know. But what's funny is that the why. Okay, let's see here. Okay, okay. Want to repost this video here. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to share this video. Okay. Now the thing is, I often question. I often question. You know, I really do. I often question of the methods of law enforcement. Right. I question because the thing is, how many people, how many people deals with this shit on a daily, weekly basis, man? Because look, you can be minding your own business, right? All of a sudden, you get pulled over, and the reason pulled you over is we got a call. Okay, so don't mean I'm gonna get my car. Don't mean you're gonna search my house unless you have a warrant, you know. And but Afroman won his case yesterday. You know, I won his case, and it proves that the most dumbest person with a badge is blinded by that badge, which is a ego amplifier, man. That's all it is, right? A badge is nothing more than an ego amplifier, man. That's all it is. You're saying, you know, and it is, you know. But the thing is, you gotta wonder about, okay, how many times has these officers or deputies done this shit because they violated the law, they didn't have a warrant, they lied about having a CI, all that shit. I mean, hold on. I've always said this. I've always said this, right? Always said this. Okay. This is a Baofeng UV5R. Okay. This 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 isn't the original antenna. This is a lot longer equivalent of it in here. So. But this is a Baofeng UV5R. I've always said this. If you really want to troll officers, officer or deputy, and they say, "Well, we got a call. Are you sure? Because I've been listening to this all fucking day, and there's no call." This here would definitely blow their this would blow their we're gonna call excuse out of the fucking water. Okay, this here would definitely put in your car, have this in your car, listen to it, you know, and this will definitely blow the we got a call out of the water. Okay, cops don't really get calls at all very much, you know. Oh, we got a call, really? I've listened to this all fucking day, and there's no call. Yeah, and it's funny. It is funny. It is funny. Very very funny. And let's see here. Let me see here. I laugh because it's kind of funny where okay, if you say you got a call, it don't mean shit, and they'll use that as an excuse like, well, we got a call about this or about that, you know. Okay, but you can't come in my house without a warrant, you know. But yet they still do it anyway. They still do it anyway, you know. Like the Fourth Amendment, because okay, look. Most deputies, most officers do not know the law. Okay, well, I was with the county for 6 months. Yeah, but lawyers have have been to college a lot longer to know the laws that you're supposed to enforce, supposed to, you know, hey. But also, there's people that do know the laws, right? You do not need to be a lawyer to know your rights. Okay, the dumbest part is like they'll ask, what are you, lawyers or something? No, I'm not a lawyer, but I do read. I do know my rights, right? You know, and the thing is, like, the most arrogant thing again. Remember, the badge is an ego amplifier, right? Big time. They'll say, "Well, you think you know the law better than me?" Yeah, yeah, and that there, if you know your rights better than they know the law, right? It it bruises their ego. It adds a dent to the ego amplifier they have on their shirt here, you know. Yeah. And it's funny. It is fucking funny because like, well, you think you know a little better than me? Yeah. Because most of the time you got your FTO telling you how things are really is, which is really not. I mean, you have officers or higher ups wear that badge for what, 15, 20, 30 years. Still, it's an ego amplifier, man. You know, more people know the laws than cops do. People know the laws better more than the deputies do. Okay? The thing is, because people are finally waking up and realizing, hey, yeah, wow, this is holy crap. 30 okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Cop Watch. Cop Watch started in San Francisco in 1991. Yeah, that's 35 years ago. Okay. Now, even though most cops and deputies don't like being watched, right? Hey, the people have the right to know what's going on in the neighborhood, right? Sure, they do. Until around time when we started to film, right? Starts to really film, and that's what really pissed them off. Like you could be 25, you could be 20 feet away, and most of the time, the people put these bastards in check. But half the time, the people that are around trying to put people, the officers in check, they have a narrative. Okay, let me stop right here. Okay, let me stop right here, and I want to part the truth here. Okay, we all want to hold people in power accountable. Okay, even law enforcement, even people in local government. Okay, simple as that. Like for example, we have issues with ICE, right? ICE. Okay, I mean you got people out there, just really get in the face like. But the thing is, there's always two halves, right? Two halves, right? One half is trying to be positive, keep things where positive. Okay. Other side wants to do the negative, physical, violent thing, right? Now, people who are doing peaceful, being peaceful, shit, they're also have their camera right here, just being peaceful, right? Just recording things, but doing it peacefully, right? Peacefully. But you have one half doing this, but also in the face, right? In the face. Now, the thing is, you have to use your discernment, okay? Now, you have to use your discernment. Now, that word, that term, discernment, I didn't realize it until like years ago, like right around. I mean, look, I started to look it up, and it's about using your fucking head, man. Like using your brain here, and like seriously use your brain, man. Because when you have both sides of this, like one side wants to be peaceful, but yet still want to make sure that law enforcement is held accountable, right? So this is something that law enforcement don't want. Okay, they don't want you to be, even if you're peaceful, even if you're peaceful protesting, doing this, right? Hold it, make sure that everything is held accountable. You know, even your fellow protesters that are being violent. Okay, look, now it's not going to look good because you're a traitor. No, I'm not a traitor. I'm just don't like you know. Here, I'm trying to be peaceful protesting, but also holding people accountable. And even you violent fuck, you know, use your fucking discernment, and you got to wonder about the mental capacity of these not just law enforcement but also violent protesters now violent the paid agitators keeping things peaceful and civil is always a smart thing and Gandhi did it so did the MLK they did it kept things non-violent um I've always felt, you know, I wanted to keep things, always felt, I've always felt that, you own your home, right? You own your property, right? That's your home. You own it. You make you pay the mortgage, you pay your rent, you pay whatever, what I'm saying. But also, even if you own your home outright after years of payments and whatnot, you own it, right? It's your property, and you do what you can to make sure that your property is safe. Like you add cameras, you add all this stuff to make sure that your home and property is safe and shit. But what law enforcement don't understand is that the curtilage of your home is also protected by the Fourth Amendment. The curtilage, like the front porch or the walkway on your property. That's called a curtilage, But what the cops did in the home of Afroman, they completely violated his Fourth Amendment right. They had no warrant. They had no warrant. They lied about having a CI. Right? Afroman was at a show with Snoop Dogg and a couple other artists, right, out of town. Well, they broke into his house. His wife, Afroman's wife, was there, and like they had no warrant. They said, "Oh, we got a call about a kidnapping." Um, Afroman was out of town at a show with Snoop Dogg and a couple other artists, man. Where was the warrant? See, cops will lie. Okay, look, law enforcement will lie about having. Oh, we have a CI. Half the time, it's bullshit. Right? Half the time, no warrant. No warrant. They'll do a no knock warrant. Right? Just boom. But here's the thing, though. A no knock entrance, right? It's dangerous for not just the person in the house, but also dangerous for the fellow officers or deputies. That this bullshit of the no knock raid, it could end lives, man. End lives, okay? Get a fucking warrant. Have proof of having a CI, right? Have proof of that. But half the time they don't. Okay. And when you stop on the side of the road, make sure you have a Balfang UV5R. I bought this thing 2 years ago. I bought this 2 years ago. I love this thing. $35. $35. Okay. I've had this thing for 2 years. For 2 years. I love this thing. Okay, this thing here, this will blow the look. For example, if you have this in your car, and a cop says, the reason I pulled you over is we got a call. Oh, really? Oh, really? Mr. Marshmallow in a costume. I didn't hear a call. I've been hearing this all fucking day doing errands. I didn't hear about a call. Are you sure you ain't high? Officer Short Dick? This would definitely blow the excuse of, oh, we got a call. Really? What did he or she look like? You have a nice day. But you will have a cops to tell you, oh, that's illegal. No, it's not. No, it's not. Cops will say anything, say absolutely anything. Oh, that's illegal. No, it's not. I use this all the time. I love to know what's going on in my town. My hometown, but a good app, next door. Next door is a awesome app, man. I tell you what. And download it on your device, Apple, iOS, or Android, right? But also get yourself a Baofeng UV5R. Set it up where you can listen to almost everything. Mine, factory unlock. They say, oh, it's factory reset. No, it's factory unlock. Right? Factory unlock, Best thing I ever bought. The best $35 investment ever made. 35 bucks. Get one of these. Have it with you at all times when you're running errands, right? And in case you get pulled over, we got to call for. We got to call your call or fit a description. We got to call that you fit a description. I mean, look, check it out. Think of me a description of a white guy, right? Okay, okay. Look, for example, right? You would hear a description of a white guy, right? All of a sudden, comes like, oh, well, instead of a white guy, let's stop a black guy saying I got call. No. Look, law enforcement will get calls about. I mean, look, law enforcement will get calls all the time. Sometimes they're recorded. Sometimes but portion of the time they get calls about they get a description of a white guy, right? A white guy. But no, instead of looking into this call, they stop a black guy saying, "Oh, we got a call about your car. You fit a description, and so does your car." That's not what I fucking heard. And when you get caught in a lie, again, the badge is an ego amplifier, right? Amplifies the ego and the power trip, Holy fucking shit, man, A badge is a ego amplifier. Right? Amplifies the ego, the arrogance, the idiocracy of law enforcement, okay? That's how it is. Now, congratulations to Afroman on his victory, the people's victory. As said, the people, the people won. We won, the people won, And he wore a custom suit, the American flag look, kind of cool. And he wore glasses that the flag glasses, said. And he won. So how can you sue a guy who, for one thing, you broke into his house with no warrant and you lied about a CI claiming, oh, the CI said there was a kid involved? No. Afterman's wife was at home. He was out of town at a show with Snoop Dogg and a couple of other artists, And so, but when they found out about the video part, they sued him, took him to court, and they're suing him for $3.9 million. No, not gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. So you think about, okay, why are they suing though nobody saw their fat faces? No face was shown except for a fat cop from here down walking by. Oh, look at pound cake. Lemon pound cake. It's like the cop was over like, oh, look at lemon pound cake. Let's see, I'm ordering try fuck it. No, fat ass, you can't fuck a pound cake. You eat it. By the way, do you think maybe I'm a little bit too fat eat a whole entire thing of pound cake? Look, pound cake. Come on, dude. You know what I'm saying? That's absolutely. I mean, come on, man. Lemon pound cake. Oh, lemon pound cake. I mean, the this fat cop went through the kitchen and looked over and go, "Oh, lemon pound cake." Was there any drugs in the pound cake? No, it's just fucking pound cake on the table. Oh, look at pound cake. What was there drugs in Afroman suits and shit? No, just clothes, man. You know, like holy shit. You know, and it makes no sense. It's like, dude, what was there any drugs in the CDs? No, they're CDs, right? They're only CDs. Was there anybody in the pound cake? No. Was there anybody in the CDs? No. Was there anybody in the suits? No. Really? And then the sheriff disconnected his system. It violates the Fourth Amendment, man. Like, dude, how fucking dumb can you be, dude? You know, like, fuck, man. You know, you're gonna be the dumbest motherfucker alive, thinking, oh, where's your warrant? Oh, I got CI. Don't fucking matter. Get a warrant, dude. Get an actual warrant signed by a judge. You know, shit. Get a warrant signed by a judge. You know, don't assume because look, departments assume that they can break into your house. I mean, look, you could be asleep at 2 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, you see flashlights. Like, what the fuck? You know, they like also a guy caught a cop breaking into his car. Like, oh, and the car had nothing to like. He couldn't even come up with a reason. Oh, what did my car for? Like the badge things. Like the badge is some kind of no. The badge is an ego amplifier. Amplifies the ego, the arrogance, the idiocracy, man. That's all it is, man. So is sitting in a political seat, man. Right? It changes you. A badge, political power, a political seat. It does. It changes you. It changes you for either the worse or like would it change you for the better or for the worse, right? Dude, you know. And the thing is, if you ask the right questions, if you hit just the right points in the conversation or anything like okay, for example, I'm here hitting every point that it look this video here, this video may get hit with a look. Let's be honest. Look, come out. Let's all be honest here. Okay, this video here may be flagged and maybe hit with a violation or pause, whatever, because I'm hitting every single point that's need to be hit. Okay, look, I have the balls to say things that I need to be said. Okay, I do. But the thing is, you have to really sit down and think. Okay, first think. Okay, like, wow, that's not good, not good. You know, never a good thing. I mean, how come they didn't have a warrant? Why did they lie saying, "Oh, the CIA said there was a kidnapping involved in this house"? Nobody was found in a pound cake, CDs, save for suits, all bullshit. They went in there thinking, we're going to find drugs or money. What happened? They found $5,000 in one of his suits that he forgot to, forgot about. But most of the time, well, actually, quarter of the time, well, most of the time, whatever. But it's all about, look, the Fourth Amendment protects you against unreasonable searches and seizures, right? Always. And you were right to record. Cops are going to get in trouble anyway, right? Oh, they're going to get written up. They're going to get look. Being written up ain't going to do shit for them. Training ain't going to do shit for them. Okay, because they're going to go back and do the same fucking thing all over again. Now, Mark Furman, okay, this guy was fired this year, right? He was fired, okay, because the guy was a liability. Okay, the guy was a liability, and this guy was not a good officer at all. You scared me. Fuck you, dude. Look, these kind of officers give good people who want to do right by the people a bad name. Oh, what's up, Ranger Man? How you doing, man? How you doing, dude? We got Mr. Star Ranger, Mr. Star Ranger. How you doing, man? How you doing, dude? Oh, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Yeah. How you been, man? Oh, did good? Oh, right on, dude. Right on, man. Right on. Hey, did you hear about Afroman, dude? Afroman won his case, bro. Afroman won his case. Yeah. Yeah. Afroman got sued, dude, by eight all uh back in 2022 or 2023, he had his house broken into, and while okay, check it out. Afroman was out of town at a show with Snoop Dogg and a couple artists. Okay, while he was gone, his wife was in the house, right? And the local law enforcement broke in his gate and his door, claiming that the CI saying, "Oh, there was a kidnapping involved in the house," right? Okay, now they had no warrant, but they said, "Oh, we got a CI." Look, CI don't mean shit, okay? Unless the CI was used because some other case. Because look, law enforcement will use CI they used in the past, right? Those in the past, due to a threat of going back to jail or threat of, if you don't do this, or we're gonna make a lot of hell. So, well, question is, where was a warrant and who's the CI? Now, after breaking down the gate, they break down this door in the kitchen and chicks out. A fat cop from here down, a fat cop walks into the kitchen. Oh, and on the table was lemon pound cake. And the fat cop starts to stop going, oh, look at pound cake. And a fat cop, oh, look at pound cake. And so they went in, they stole his money, stole some other stuff, and he had a home security system, audio and visual, right? After breaking in their home, the sheriff disconnected his system. Why? There was no warrant. There's a lie about CI. Yeah, cop, yeah. And so he he had the system on his house, attached to his phone, and while at the show, he's seen this shit on his phone by his house. So now, yeah, especially a fat cop that saw the pound cake on the table. Oh, yeah, pancake. So he did a video by using the footage of from his system. He did a video, okay, and he did two videos. One called 11 Pound Cake, very funny, and they sued him for $3.9 million because our privacy was violated. You're in his house, okay? Again, the badge is an ego amplifier. It amplifies the ego, the arrogance, and the idiocracy of cops, man. Okay. Now they lost. They sued him for $3.9 million. Now they got to pay him. If you sue somebody and you lose, you got to pay them, folks. That's the idiocracy of trying to sue somebody who, and they wanted to sue him for proceeds for any show that he did. You know, good luck with that. Shit. No. They wanted to sue him for proceeds of the album he made because of the video. Well, they didn't see his faces, just the fat guy from here down. Okay. So it's really make no sense, man. Look, most cops are dumber than a box of rocks, man. Okay, they're dumber. They're dumber than a second coat. Look, cops are dumber than a second coat of paint. Okay, bar none. Okay. A few, yeah, yeah, but the judge in this case is he was partial. No, you um, but again, Afroman won his court case. Thank God, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this shows and it proves that cops will fuck with you anytime they want. Okay, cops will fuck with you anytime. Look, it don't matter if it's police department, sheriff department, state police, whatever. They will fuck with you anytime they want. Okay, they will fuck with you anytime they want. Okay, don't matter where you live, man. You know, and the thing is, you gotta think. Okay, you gotta think. Look, the dumbest part is how law enforcement officers will say, "Well, I know the law. I went to the academy. Yeah, for 6 months. That's half a year, asshole. Half a year. I mean, it's really funny how they say, "Well, I know the law better than you do because I was." Dude, you're in the academy for 6 months. You're in there learning how to be a dick. You know, people are waking up. People are waking up. People are waking up. They're knowing their rights. You know, um, look. Here in America, you're in the academy for 6 months. That's half a year for learning to be an asshole. In Europe and in UK, 3 years. 3 years. Here, 6 months on learning how to be an asshole. You know, it doesn't take a degree how to be a prick. Page 1, how to be an asshole. Chapter 2, the ego amplifier. Oh, Sri Lanka's 5 years? Oh, dude. Okay. See, what's so funny is that 6 months in the academy, dude. 6 months. Like, dude, 6 months, you're not learning very much at all, except for learn how to drive, learn how to shoot a gun, and then learning how to treat the rookie like a bitch. Wow. Too low, man. Look, if I was in office somewhere, I'd be like, you know what? We're going to increase the count of time in the academy to 3 years. So we're going to add a year and a half. We're going to add 2.5 years so the rookie, the cadets can learn how to be not just an asshole, but an educated asshole that can actually learn how to question authority without having their life or their job threatened. Here's what's nuts here. Law enforcement has disdain for the military, right? The military. Why? Why? Your fucking fat ass couldn't make it in boot camp, so you came back home to be a local prick. When you got men and women in the military learning about honor, integrity, and they hold on to that when they get back home. See, law enforcement here in the States, they couldn't handle real warfare because, like, I need my banky. No, you need a foot in your ass and a fist to your nuts, man. Maybe in the back of the head, man, But half of law enforcement, the ones that came back from the military, dude, like if you raise your hand to swear an oath to the Constitution and shit while going into the military, that's awesome. But when you do that same shit, you again, the badge is an ego amplifier. Amplifies ego, arrogance. Let me rephrase. The badge amplifies ego, arrogance, idiocracy, and assholery. You know, I mean, look, we the people, if we know our rights, man, we ain't stupid. But what's funny is that a couple say, well, you think you know the rights more better than I do? Yes, we do. Because we don't sit in a car whacking it off the partner. We actually open a book, sit at the table, and actually fucking read, okay? We read. What's wrong, Chief? Fester. No. No. So the thing is, look, again, there's two halves of everything, right? Everything. Ice, right? For example, ice. You have one half that knows the job and can do it. Other halves, poor training, can't do the job. Too much of a fucking pussy to do that damn job. Same with over here, got one side that's a peaceful protest, peaceful, but yet still filming to hold people accountable while others are like, that shit. If you want to hold people accountable, keep things civil and peaceful, man. And still record, still maintain the peace and civility while recording to hold people accountable. Okay, don't do it because you have an agenda, right? Don't do that because it makes you look bad. You do it because you think about your neighborhood, your neighbors, your community. That's the main thing you work as a citizen of your town. Look, I'm also that way too. I worry about my neighbors, my family, my community. I do, and I listen to this all the time. This is a Baofeng UV5R. Again, if you're out running errands or whatever you're doing, carry this. Have it in your car, right? And if they pull you over saying, "Oh, we got to call your car for a description, and we got we also got a call about your description." Oh, really? Tell me about it. What did he or she look like? And this would definitely blow my water, man. You did not get a call. Maybe you got a call from Winchell's saying they're out of glazed donuts. Yeah, yeah. Uh, it works. Channel mode. Scanning begin. Line 1, here we go. Town job, QP 1004 over. This is one of the best investments for $35, man. 35. eBay. And I mean, like, dude, it'll help you out, man. Um, Most definitely, it'll blow out that term. Oh, we got a call. Okay, yeah, but what they look like? Yeah, yeah. These here are seen. This here is seen on TikTok, and what's funny about it is they'll say the government might ban these at the end of the year, and and what's funny too is to say it's illegal to modify it or whatever it is, but they'll show you how to do it anyway. Like mine is factory unlock. That means everything, every channel, everything, and they'll still show you how to do it anyway. By 2025, they'll look. We're in 2026. Okay? We're in March, man. Okay, March of 2026, man. What the fuck, dude? This here was created by a guy who won the Nobel Peace Prize for creating this radio here, man. Awesome radio. And again, worth every dollar, man. Yeah. But this here don't need cellular. It's the equivalent of a CB. Yeah. The creator of this phone, the creator of this radio, won the Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah. But what's funny is that Germany banned these. Why? I'll tell you why. The Baofeng UV5R is a two-way UHF VHF um, FM radio. Two-way UHF VHF FM radio. FM. You can also do this can also be a ham radio. Uh, Also, so um, but also make sure you get your ham radio license. 'Cause I don't. I'm gonna get one here pretty soon. Um, so yeah, this is pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. But yet, have it with you in your vehicle. and they say, and if they stop you, say, "Oh, we got a call." Okay, what do they say? Your car for a description. Dude, no, you're wrong because my car doesn't look. Officer dipshit. I'm driving a fucking Hugo. The car to look for is a Dodge Charger. My car can hit 100 miles an hour. The Dodge Charger can hit over 180 miles an hour. My car is from my car is Yugoslavian. The car you look for is a Dodge. My car doesn't run more shit, but that one does. Well, you fit a description. Do I look? Do I look like a purple nipple? I don't think so. I mean, it's funny because look, cops are fucking dumb, dude. They're fucking dumb. Okay, they are dumber than a box of rocks covered in shit, man. What side do you support in? I support Taco Bell. I support I'll call it Bell Del Taco. That's my side. I support Ole Frijole. That's my side right there. I support 7-Eleven. Del Taco. Del Taco, not Bell. There's Taco Bell and there's Del Taco. Yeah, I get that too. Yeah. 7-Eleven, yeah. They got the best Slurpees, man. They got the best Slurpees and shit. Oh, dude. You can get a double extra large big gulp for like almost McDonald's. Oh hell no. McDonald's is hemorrhoid city, man. Holy crap! If you eat a Big Mac, man, you get a hemorrhoid in your asshole, man. That's why I quit eating at McDonald's. If I end up farting out a Big Mac, I get hemorrhoids, man. I cannot believe I just I cannot believe I just fucking said that shit, man. I cannot believe I just fucking said that. New for McDonald's. The new for McDonald's. The McHemorrhoid. You get this if new for McDonald's. The McHemorrhoid. You get this when you drink the McCoffee. I cannot believe I just fucking said that, man. I just cannot believe I just said that. The 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 McHemorrhoid. Well, cops are not just look. Cops are not just dumb as fuck. They're as dumb as a McHemorrhoid with extra cheese. Yeah, whatever. Never mind. Yeah, cops are dumb, dude, man. Look. Cops will find. Look, cops follow a script, right? They follow a script just like local news affiliates follow the same thing. And look, the media and law enforcement. Look, law enforcement and the media are alike to a degree here. If you look at the affiliates, they say the same damn thing. Cops will say the same damn thing too. Same fucking thing. And like they will say the same fucking thing, and most of them do not really know the law supposed to enforce, right? That's why cops and deputies are dumb as fuck. You know, SWAT raid. Oh, the thing is, the problem they have, and I, and I'll say this: they have a warrant, right? A warrant, but how many of them double or triple check, right? So when they do a raid, they raid the right house, right? You got to double check the warrant, even triple check. Make sure that you have the right location. Don't always rely on a CI, right? Because CIs could be fucking with the officers because they want revenge, right? Why? Because the term railroading happens, right? So they'll give a false address. I think what would be funny if they raid the wrong house and it's vacant. Yeah, yeah, right. Get people to play a part, right? To do a little trolling, right? And they do a raid. All of a sudden they warrant. What the fuck is this? House is empty, but yet on table pound cake. No, no. I'll tell you what. Israel has paid the price for it. For what they did. You know, I think Israel needs to be punished, man. I think not the people, but the whole dynamic of it. Um, Iran said if you don't send them back, well, my you mean BB Netanyahu? Yeah, BB Netanyahu. See, the thing is, Israel is getting punished because, I mean, think about it like this: Israel wanted this done. Okay, BB Netanyahu wanted this done. So what happens? Brings in us. Brings in our military. Why? Because they don't want to use the nukes. So they want to see our bunker buster bombs. So the thing is, 7 presidents knew over the years it'd be a bad idea to go after Iran. Why? Have they touched us directly? No, no. Okay. Now, bomb, yeah, bunker busters, yeah. Those were used during the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Now the thing is, Iran is pretty much making Israel and our military look like shit. Okay. Trump has look. Trump has no idea what the fuck he's doing, man. Honestly, he doesn't. So Iran is saying, look, well, the thing is, they want the United States military to use their bunker busters because if I don't know, if Israel went to attack Iran, they'll use their nukes. Yeah, he's getting paid. I mean, yeah. But Orange Man Sourpuss wants Greenland. Now, when was the last time they mentioned Greenland? It's been what, 4 months, 5 months, right? 5 months. Um, Now he said if any NATO country comes to Greenland's aid, they would pay the price. Dude, there are more. I mean, look, there are a lot of countries that are in NATO, right? Yeah, it's all about rare earth elements. It's all about oil, right? It's about controlling what the Earth has in those regions, you know. And Trump wants it for his oil baron buddies. Well, I'm sorry, Orange Man, Little Dick gun sad. Look, Greenland is protected by the Crown of Denmark. He says, I don't care if Denmark ran there 500 years ago. Dude, Greenland is protected by the Crown of Denmark and also a few other NATO countries too. Canada, Germany, France, right? France, okay? It is. It is. It's all a huge distraction of the Epstein files. Oh fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. It's all a distraction because Trump don't want to be known as being on that list, you know, like shit, man. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see here. All right. Okay, I got your turn, man. Let's see here. Michael, what are you doing? That's my pleasure. All right. All right, dude. I just stopped your chat, man. Okay. Now, if you guys want to know more about Mr. Star Ranger, check out his channel. Uh, give him a hello and sub to him, and make sure that tell him that Yo sent you, and subscribe to Star Ranger, and help him reach 1,000 subs. Help, yes, help Mr. Star Ranger get 1,000 subs, man. And you know, so he's also one of my subscribers. So also subscribe to him. Just came across the Minecraft short, pretty cool artwork, man. You know, pretty cool. Also check out the Worldwide Resistance Network. I'm gonna be on there Saturday with my good buddy Tin Man. And if you guys are new to this channel, like, subscribe, comment below, hit the bell for notification. Always live healthy, happy, and wise. I love you guys. And also, please again, subscribe to Mr. Star Ranger and help him reach 1,000 subs. Damn, dude. Yeah, this channel here I haven't used for almost 3 years until I got it back. Last year? Um, thought I lost it, but it's back. It's back. Um, but again, check out Mr. Star Ranger. Subscribe to him, and so watch his content. Also, watch the one of the Minecraft short. That's like really cool. Love that short. Um, love the art. Awesome, man. So again, new to this channel, like, subscribe, comment below, hit the bell for notification. Always live healthy, happy, and wise. I love you guys. Thank you, Star Ranger, for being on my channel here, man. Commenting, and peace out. Godspeed. Buddha bless.